How Americans are paying for vacation. I know a lot of y'all is putting vacation on debt. A lot of y'all having fun on debt, which means that you're actually paying more for that vacation. Y'all know vacation's already expensive. Just because it's already expensive. So, but yeah, a lot of people put it on debt. Hey, it be like that. Have fun now, pay later. Have fun now, pay later. You're going to pay a little bit more for that as well. You're going to pay a little bit more for that. But let's go ahead and get into this. See what they got going.
The average vacation cost for one person in the United States is a little under $2,000 per week.
More than a third of summer vacationers, 36%, are willing to take on debt this summer for their travels. The reason that's worrisome is because the average credit card charges over 20%, which is close to a record high. I don't want to tell people they can't have any fun, but this represents a lot of people taking on expensive debt. And this is the kind of thing that can linger.
Globally, 72% of millennials and 65% of Gen Zs said they plan on spending more on leisure travel in 2024 compared to 2023. In the U.S., 47% of millennials and 42% of Gen Zs said they plan to take on debt to go on summer vacation.
There are so many compelling reasons why people choose to take on debt to have these vacations. If your kids are dreaming of going to Disney World and there's no way the family could ever really swing it without going into debt, it could be a memory the family will have forever. Parents often can rationalize spending in these terms for their children.
Here's how Americans are paying for their summer vacations.
Whew. 40%. Y'all, this is aimed at us young people. Because we're at a point in stage, I told y'all, young people, they ain't ready to, don't care. Say, I'm going into debt to have my fun. I'm about to have some fun. I'm about to swipe this card to have that fun. I do not care. And the average vacation is almost $2,000 now. That is crazy. Y'all might as well. That's why I be telling my folks, bro. I'm quick to tell people I'm not going on vacation. Because it's just expensive. It's all get out. And I don't want to spend my $2,000 going on vacation all the time. I can't go on your birthday vacation for this reason. Do y'all think it's selfish to ask people to go on vacation, knowing that the average vacation is $2,000 per person, they said? That's crazy how expensive vacation is now. And millennials and Gen Z, 40% of us say, hey, we swiping that card. We putting it on debt. It do not matter. I'm going on that vacation. Boy, you don't even know the half of it.
Credit cards are the most common way people pay for their vacations. 62% of Americans surveyed said they put at least some of their trip on a credit card. Financial experts say that this can be a risky move if the borrower cannot pay the balance in time to not be charged interest.
The average credit card balance is already over $6,000, according to TransUnion. If you add $1,000 in vacation expenses to that, maybe it feels like a drop in the bucket, but it just makes it that much harder. That $6,200, if you make minimum payments at the average interest rate of 20.7%, you're going to be in debt for 18 years, and you're going to pay more than $9,000 in interest. So some of this is making a bad situation worse.
The debt feels like this trade-off for a lot of people. It's ultimately the interchange between money for these lifelong memories and seminal experiences. And that's a sacrifice many are not only willing to make, but feel so strongly in doing so. Especially when debt is a weight many people are already accustomed to carrying.
Consumers are still out there using their credit cards. Their credit card balances are over $1 trillion now. We're seeing actual delinquencies on credit now rising. People are dipping into their savings. But bottom line is that they're still spending.
Not all credit card users are paying interest. 43% of Americans said they used their credit cards to pay for their trips, but paid it off in full to avoid interest. This also comes with the perk of accumulating rewards points.
Use those rewards points and miles. Put those to use. But it doesn't make sense to pay 20% interest just to get 2 or 3 or 4% cash back or airline miles.
In order to avoid interest while still having more time to pay off the credit card balance, some vacationers choose to open a new credit card that provides them with 0% interest for a set period of time.
The risk here is that once the term expires, the rate goes way up.
First thing people use is credit cards, y'all. Credit cards. That's the craziest thing, is a credit card. And then they tried to give folks a play at the end. Just gave y'all the risk. They gave you a play. But the risk at the end of that is not worth it. It's not worth it. And the play should not be used on vacation. It should be used on something that's going to get you more money. That's why I said people don't understand the credit card thing. Like, people just want to have a credit card so they can spend. The average balance, they said, is $6,000. And you want to put a vacation on top of that, paying regular people, you're going to pay 20%. You're going to be paying that 20% easy. You're going to be paying that 20%. So, and like he said, in the long run, it's not worth it. If you swiping that credit card, and people try to justify swiping their credit cards for the points and all that, if you let that balance roll over, what you get for the little points you lost money still. The little points wasn't even worth it. So come on now, like, no, do not put your vacation on that credit card and let that thing roll over. You are going to pay 20% extra on that. And the longer that you let that carry, you're going to keep paying that 20%. Y'all know how that go. Y'all know how it go. I'm going to tell y'all, the play they tried to give you was open up a new credit card. You know, it's 0%. Then you have time to pay it down. Yes, after that, you're going to get hit with those. They're going to hit you with a high APR. So you're going to get hit with that automatically. So if you're able to get it off. But that play is not supposed to be used on vacation. That play is supposed to be used on something that's going to help you generate money. Not on vacation, y'all. Do not run no credit card plays to go on vacations. You opening up a whole new credit card so you can get 0%. And not, the concept makes sense. The concept makes sense. If y'all say that, okay, yeah. That makes sense. Then I have time to pay it down. I got time to pay it down. But the play is not supposed to be used for vacations. That's it. And let's be real. Are you really going to pay that vacation down? Be truthful with yourself. Are you really going to pay that vacation down? Or are you going to pay your minimum, and when that 0% run out, you about to be paying 32% and 40%? Ask yourself. Now, if you are paying on vacation with a credit card, I pay my vacation with a credit card so I can get them points and all that stuff. But it never rolls over. It never rolls over for me. I'm about to get that right on out. I never go on a vacation that I can't pay for in that moment. My friends plan a trip, bro. I'm telling y'all, my friend will tell you. When they plan a trip, I tell them I can't go until probably about a month before the trip. A month before the trip, they done planned it. Then I'll be like, okay, y'all, I'm going on the trip now. Oh, he coming on a trip now. Yeah, I'm going on a trip now. But I pay it in full immediately. Because then I know I can afford it. I'm not going to tell you, now if we plan the trip out in a year, of course, I can pay that off before I get to the trip. But if it's a trip and it's coming up and I know I can't afford it, I'm going to tell you I can't go. Do not go on that trip. Come on now, let's continue the video though.
Expires, the rate goes way up.
Another option vacationers are considering is taking out a loan for their trip. 5% of vacationers plan to take out a personal loan from a financial institution, which typically carries a lower interest rate than credit cards. The average interest rate of a personal loan in June 2024 was about 12%. 6% of those surveyed said they plan to borrow from friends or family.
I think both of those represent a slippery slope. Personal loan rates have gone up a lot.
That debt equals irresponsible is so pejorative and such a simplistic way of looking at this that there's all different reasons and rationales why we might intentionally go into debt. People don't think taking out a mortgage for a home and making this a lifelong investment is irresponsible, but it can be a really bad investment in a lot of cases. So you have to consider, where is it important for you to invest your money? And maybe it is this trip with these lifelong memories with your family that you'll never get back.
Another option is loaning money to yourself out of a 401k account. A loan is different from a 401k withdrawal. Withdrawals have different rules and tax implications. Loans are not permitted from IRA or IRA-based plans. The reason someone may go this route is instead of paying interest to a financial institution, they would pay themselves back over time with interest. That payment will go back into their retirement account and eventually accumulate compound interest.
Borrowing from your retirement plan definitely worries me because really the biggest predictor of future returns is time in the market. So even though we don't know what stocks are going to do this week or this month or this year, over the long haul, they've been massive wealth builders. So I feel like that would be more of a last resort if there's kind of an emergency. Going on vacation is not an emergency.
You gonna take out a loan against your financial future to go on vacation? Y'all know what I hate about it? They talk about, what about the memories you could make with your loved ones? I'm gonna be broke because I'm going on this vacation. This vacation about to hurt me. This vacation put me in a deficit. And we over here talking about the feeling that you have on vacation because it makes people feel better. I mean, like, come on. I understand. It's tough that people are borrowing against their financial future. You know, taking out a loan for vacation, it's just crazy in a thought process to me. Anyway, just the fact that people have to do that, I just feel like I'm in a blessed position because it's sad to say, you know, like, maybe it's worth it for the feeling that you'll have on this vacation. But it is destroying your financial future. Like, gosh, Lee. It's really sad. Yeah. If you going that far, like I'm taking a loan out for my 401k.
It is interesting how, while you could say on one hand that it's worrisome that credit card balances are near record highs and the personal saving rate is near a record low, this is powering a lot of economic growth. But what's good for the economy is not always good for your household finances.
Consumer spending makes up nearly 70% of U.S. GDP, which means a rise in consumer spending can spur economic growth. But a rise in consumer debt can lead to a hard pullback in spending, which can cause what's called deflation.
Deflation is just generally associated with not just recessions, but deep recessions in the economy.
A recession occurs when there's, quote, a significant decline in economic activity that is spread across the economy and lasts more than a few months.
Historically speaking, deflation means that prices are actually coming down. And the reason why prices are coming down is because people aren't spending money. The reason why people aren't spending money is because they don't have jobs and they can't afford to go out and take a trip to Hawaii or go out and buy a new Lexus or do those kind of things. They're just kind of trying to tread water, and they're not even doing that. So therefore, prices are going to have to keep coming down.
It's important to remember that there's not just one consumer story.
You have the same consumer that might be out there spending on travel, going to events, whether it's concerts or sporting events, which we are seeing very, very clearly, and that's driving some of these travel trends. And they're doing it in a way that's really strategic. At the same time, that same strategic consumer might be walking into a store and really thinking carefully about how they're spending, looking for the best promotion, the best discount. So it's not one story for the consumer. And I think that's really important because it creates a lot of complications in the narrative, because you have consumers looking for discounts, you have consumers looking for promotions, and you have consumers that want to make their dollars work the best they can in the way that works for them.
Financial experts say the key to affording a vacation is to plan ahead. Advisors say the first step is figuring out Financial experts say the key to affording a vacation is to plan ahead. Advisors say the first step is figuring out what you want to spend and to set a budget for the trip.
This is our allowance for food, and this is our allowance for trips or activities. So you can kind of make sure your behavior is consistent with your values. Because money on trips can feel like monopoly money. I had a client I worked with who decided they were going to stay in an Airbnb and they were going to cook all of their food. So they were going to save on food and they were going to splurge on this boat trip they were really excited about. And it felt like a compromise.
The next step after establishing a budget would be making a plan to save.
You can start small and daily. Maybe you're going to set aside a little bit of money each day or each paycheck to this dream vacation. And it can be helpful to have kind of a calculation set up.
On top of setting aside the money, you can also find small ways to save on costs to make the most of your trip.
There are plenty of ways to save. You can have fun on a budget. You can use your frequent flyer miles or credit card points. You could be open-minded about when and where you go. Kind of zig when others zag. Maybe travel in the off-season or the shoulder season, or drive instead of fly, or travel midweek instead of on the weekend. If you can let the deal dictate the destination, that can really help you out. Flexibility is key.
There's times when you just have to be realistic. If you financially can't swing a vacation, can you get creative? Can you find a way to take a break from your life or mimic a vacation without the big expense?
Maybe even do a staycation. I think that's an underrated option. This idea of playing tourist in your local area. So there's a way to have fun without busting the budget.
Nearly half of Americans said they plan to skip their summer vacation, with 65% of them saying affordability was the main issue.
I kind of worry about both of those extremes. You have the people that are paying 20 or 25 or 30% extra to go on vacation, which is not great. But then you also have a lot of people skipping the trip entirely, which may be regrettable later on.
There's a ratio between the money being spent and the amount of time of your trip, and only you can decide if that experience, the memories of the 5-day vacation, is valuable enough to commit to having to worry about paying it off for months in the future.
I think overall that was some good stuff. Definitely some good stuff. You have to get ahead of the ball when it comes down to this vacationing thing. For me, I'm telling y'all, I have to be ahead of the ball. Like, I can't be if I'm behind the ball, I don't feel comfortable spending the money. Like, if I have to swipe my credit card on the vacation and I can't afford it, I don't feel comfortable going on that vacation. I know we all know that broke friend that goes on that vacation. And it's like, bro, shouldn't go on anyway. You should not have been here. That's how I feel, at least. I feel like if you can't afford it, you should not go anyway. You know, it may sound harsh, however you feel. No, I know it. When I go on vacation, y'all, I spend my money. Because I've been so far ahead of the ball. Like, I already had the money set aside. I already know what I can do, what I can't do, all that stuff. I like to be ahead of the ball. I know I want to go jet skiing. I know it's going to be an $100 excursion. I already got that set aside. I'm not coming up like, dang, I done already paid for the vacation on that. Now I'm on vacation and got to spend more money on the vacation. Nah, I want to know before I go on this vacation, what are we doing? What are we getting into? You know, that way I can set aside the money and be comfortable on that vacation. I'm telling y'all, if I was to go on a vacation and I couldn't spend and do freely what everybody doing, I'm not going. That's why I tell my friends no in the beginning, because maybe I don't want to spend my money on this vacation. And like I said, I hate that there's an emotional aspect they put to this video, because now I feel like it's an emotional aspect to this vacation and stuff, you know, because it is experiences. It is, you know, lived experiences that you'll miss out. Like, maybe you want to take your kid to Disney World. Gosh, Lee, that's a tough thing to have to pick. Like, I feel bad for somebody who has to make that choice. I do feel bad for them, because it's like, and then you got the people who they're not going to do it at all. Like the dude said at the end, it's tough. That's a tough position to be in. That is a very tough position to be in. So I feel for that. I feel for it. But the best thing that you can do so that you can enjoy that vacation is know where you're going like a year in advance. Start saving. That way when you get on that vacation, you can fully feel relaxed with what's going on that vacation. Like I said, I know for me, the best times when I'm on vacation are the vacations it's already paid for. I'm not worried about it. I already got that money set aside. And the best no's I've told people are the ones where I don't think I could afford it in that time. I always know, okay, I'm going to do a vacation at this time of the year. I'm going to do a vacation at this time of the year. And I need to start saving up for that time of the year. I might not know that vacation that I'm going to go on until, a couple months ahead. But I know I need to start saving in advance. So y'all get you a budget. Have a vacation budget and start putting some money towards your vacations. And then, you always get a little extra money here and there. Okay, I can fully go on this vacation. Man, if you with me, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know if you spend your money, if you go into debt for vacation. Let me know how you feel about this going on vacation. Like I said, that is a rock and a hard place when it comes to having lived experiences and getting out here to go on these vacations.